gray, cold, and rainy autumn day when I traveled along a lonely, winding road toward the house of Usher. The sky hung heavy with dark clouds, and the wind whispered through the bare, twisted trees. Dry leaves scattered across the road, spinning and rustling in the gusts of wind. Lightning occasionally split the sky, briefly illuminating the mansion that stood silently by a dark, still pond. Its reflection mirrored perfectly in the water, giving the impression that the house itself was alive, watching. The house rose from the ground with a slow, threatening majesty. Its walls were cracked, its windows dark and vacant, like eyes that followed my every movement. Every shadow seemed to move, stretching along the walls and floors. The path leading to the front door was overgrown with dead vines and tangled weeds, twisting like snakes over broken stones. As I approached, the air grew heavier, colder, and filled with a musty, damp smell. Inside, the hallways were narrow and endless. Each step I took echoed in the high-ceilinged rooms, bouncing off old faded tapestries and portraits of ancestors. Their painted eyes seemed to follow me, judging my presence. Dust hung in the air and on every surface, disturbed only when the wind shook the broken windows or when my foot brushed a fallen piece of furniture. The curtains hung in heavy folds, swaying slightly, as though the house itself breathed with me. Finally, I reached the study where Roderick Usher awaited. His face was pale, his eyes wide, and his hands trembled as he greeted me. He spoke softly about his failing health, both of mind and body, and about his sister Madeline, who suffered from a mysterious illness. The oppressive atmosphere of the mansion pressed on me, as if the very stones were alive and aware of every sorrow and fear within its walls. I noticed that shadows shifted unnaturally with each flicker of light, and the floors seemed to sigh beneath my weight. The air felt thick and heavy, like the house itself inhaled and exhaled with deliberate slowness. In the distance, a faint sound of wind against the walls, creaking floorboards, and the rustle of dead leaves outside reminded me that the house was not a passive shelter, but a presence that demanded attention, pulling at the mind with quiet force. Every detail, the cracked walls, the dark windows, the reflection in the pond, the whispering wind, and the heavy silence, told the story of a family cursed with fear, sadness, and an unbroken chain of sorrow. The house was not simply a home, but an embodiment of all the pain that had passed through its halls. I felt drawn to it, fascinated, fearful, yet unable to turn away. It was as though the mansion itself connected past and present, linking its inhabitants through generations of melancholy and dread.